Hey guys, Tightrope here, bringing you a 2v2 today. We are on Eindhoven country. And today spawning in the southwest part of Mount playing as Soviets who has reserve army, shock army and conscript support tactics. Teaming up with them, brain damage with US forces. Going for Airborne, gone for a mortar into Pathfinder. I don't think I've seen this build yet. From the north we have Diamond with Ostheer, Joint Ops, Jaeger Armour and German Mechanized, and finally MrSipan, also with Ostheer, who has German Mechanized, Strategic Reserves and Fortified Armour. So Patreon back a submitted game, but everybody is in the top 200. Brain damage and Mum with around 110. Diamond 130, MrSipan 170. A little bit of a ranking edge for the allies. Both Ostheer players, exact same starting build. Grady making a bit of a move here. Don't see this too often. Looking for an early cutoff, I think. Works its way into position here, gets some nice suppression on the conscripts. They're trying to crawl out. Combat engineers holding their position. Should take a decent amount of suppression. Probably going to take a while to recover from that. Be very careful here. Got mortar nearby. Just decide to get out. Mortar could just ruin your day with a shell right then. Especially with some Pathfinders nearby to pick off the low health models. Okay, here come the conscripts charging in. It's going to be a close fight, that one. Some sandbags up over here. MG just out of range. Conscripts are losing anyway. SMG in a good position though. It's a big hit from the mortar. Decides to retreat though. I think there's potential. Okay, it sounds like it was still going. That's interesting. Seems like maybe barrage does not get a increased cooldown by getting suppressed on a mortar. You don't see those situations arise too often, but looked like that was the case. Okay, bit of a flame burst there on the MG. Looks like maybe Posman wants to go for the merge, but this conscript squad just can't get in range for it. Crawling around while suppressed. 4 conscripts for Posman. Captain for brain damage, going for an early ambulance here. Posman does have healing. I think I'd probably use my teammates' healing in this situation. So I could go for a faster light vehicle as brain damage. I was using some supervised before. Okay, it's going to be a forward ambulance. I'll bring it up to heal this Pathfinder squad. MG on the far flank runs into the rear echelon. They're just out of sight range though. Might be able to complete the capture here. The mortar hasn't rotated though to assist. It's fighting in the center. MG's coming back out, but in the meantime the Grenadiers are struggling a little bit. Captain's got the bar upgraded. Tier 2 down for both. Oh! Ooh! Lucky for those conscripts to escape. I wonder if that was targeted slightly into the retreat path. Because I think that was like a reasonable time to hit retreat. Certainly it was too late to try and manually dodge, but that was a close call. Good rifle nade. And that's how you kind of want to do those rifle nades once the engagement has been cooking for quite a long time. Opponent's not paying as much attention to it anymore, hopefully. Tier 3 coming up. A lot of manpower being spent right now by Paul's mum. Can't actually afford to reinforce all these units. Might have been better just to focus on... Oh yeah, looks like this one's probably going to get back to full. There's not a lot of like easy territory to capture close to the base either with like a low health, low model count squad. Here comes the 222 before 6 minutes. It's a strong one. MrSipan though late on his 222. He did go for like a pretty fast tier 2 tech, but not rolling that into a fast 222. He's only getting that going now, so it's definitely going to be coming in about a minute late. Just get spotted, chased away. Model stuck. Can retreat.
HMG are available for we're losing a capture point.
Pathfinder's also hidden there, getting forced away. AT gun now for brain damage. Didn't go for the anti-air half track though.
Just got cut off.
222's causing all sorts of trouble at the moment. Posmum about 5 fuel away from the T70, but also hurting in the manpower department. He's not ticked AT grenades either, so can't do much. Just holding on for that. Raj not really hitting anything. T70. This is a situation where you hold off on reinforcements, trying to get that T70 in the build as fast as possible. That's exactly what Posmon does. Power building the sandbags with 2 squads. Gonna try to complete them as well. And then on the run. This is why you kind of need the US Forces anti-air half-track. You know, with these builds it often does arrive at pretty much the same time as the 222. Can bully them away, buy a bit of time for the Soviet player to make it to that T70. Osborne does have the option of going for the quad, but generally I do prefer T70. It's just easier to keep alive with 400 health instead of 320. Makes such a big difference, and against the 222s as well. Can't double team you as effectively. Got a couple AT guns out for Axis players. Now MrSipan going into the Panzer Grenadier. Comes the T70. It's a little bit far away here. Avoid getting smeared. No sprint into Faust though this game, so give you a little bit more confidence with your light vehicle.
The enemy is attempting to steal our sector.
Okay, and Diamond's AT gun a little bit out of position, takes some big damage from those conscripts, allowing this T70 to continue working out the back here. Conscripts do have anti-tank grenades now, and MrSipan a little bit slow. Oh my god, what happened here? 2 AT grenades. How did he let that happen though? MrSipan also a little bit slack, allowing that AT grenade to come off. Well, that's going to turn the game around for sure. Some tripwires down here while full view. But no sweepers at the moment for MrSipan. Maybe a little bit late. In fact, both the Axis players, no sweepers against the Soviet player. Especially Diamond should have one.
We have a new scout car.
Taking some time to kill off the sandbag. Guys capping out the back though. They should perhaps have been a higher priority target. Might have been able to prevent the completing of the Muni point capture. T70 backing out for repairs, it looks like. Maybe unsure about whether this is in health range to die to 2 pack shots or not, so playing it safe. I think that's one area where Code 3 will be better, since you can actually hover over the health bar and see exactly how much health you have. Oh boy! Well, there we go, 2 shots, both connecting, and there goes the 222. So their reign of terror was short. Either lasted too long, and it's actually a rebuild on it for Diamond. He does not have Spotting Scope's commander locked in yet, and there we go, takes a snare on this one again. The pack is there though, misses its shot, and Diamond really needs to rotate. 50 cal picked up by Potter's Mountain, maybe donated by brain damage, maybe that's what we saw in the all chat before. But Diamond gonna lose yet another 222. Really need to mobilize these squads and support far earlier. Missing again. Might have been an attack round though. Don't know if it's got vision behind those trees. T70. Yeah, that's definitely attack rounds.
Are seizing a sector.
And there go the Panzer in the Pathfinders. It's gonna call them Panzer Fusiliers. Oh boy. 270 up here, but the pack's actually in a good position for Diamond, but misses. He's having some real bad luck with that pack. I'll say that much. I feel like he's definitely sub 50% with it at the moment. Probably even sub 30%, I would guess.
The HQ has been improved again. We are losing a sector.
So T70 still healthy. Cosmom though getting shredded by the incendiary rounds. Got the 50 cal coming in, trying to go toe to toe with it. Oh, he's shooting at this. Should have been shooting at the machine gun. Might have been able to force it away with superior suppression. Typically the 50 cal does do better in the head-to-head with those 2 machine guns. So Axis have restabilized. Do have some paratroopers in now for brain damage though. Still got quite a lot of manpower. Could even consider putting down a cache. He's got a pretty fast Scott out now as well. So not hitting too much. That barrage. Second pack now for Diamond.
Enemy is taking our territory.
Tier 3 down for MrSipan. Can start a Panzer IV now. Tier 4. Oh, interrupted to repair. Gonna delay the conscripts for a little bit longer with the 7-man upgrade. Charging up the back. I wonder if the Pathfinders had vision of that. A couple decent hits. 50 cal setting up as well. Back off to the side. Why? He popped incendiary rounds down here. I'm not sure what that was intended for. Lies quite far behind on VPs at this stage though. Oh, Pathfinder's in some trouble. Oof. Dropping so fast those LMGs.
A capture point is under attack.
That goes quite far away from the rest of the lads. Easy dodge on that rifle nade. Okay. good mobility with the Scott. Didn't get tunnel vision, just staying in the center. Came out to the side, forced a bunch of retreats. Oh wow, MrSipan went for a command tank instead of the regular Panzer IV. I feel like at this phase of the game, you know, there's still opportunities to actually kill the Scott. But you're not going to be able to do that with the command Panzer IV. Just doesn't have the damage. Might work better in the long run. Where did that appear from? Might work better in the long run. With the aura helping, you know, reduce the damage from the Scott's barrage, but in the short term it's going to be worse. Kind of gives time for brain damage to make his way towards that Jackson as well. Typically would see a second AT gun from the US player at this stage as well, just to make sure that the Scott is safer. Command tank even bouncing off the T-70 here. Doesn't sound like the Pathfinders have bars yet. Just the captain. So maybe that's brain damage's next avenue of fuel after that Jackson comes online. Okay, Posman locking in to shock arm. He has deployed the heavy mortar quite late. Locking into this one. You know that I'm big hater of the 152mm artillery strike. But hey, maybe he can make use of the armoured vehicle detection. I think I could count on one hand the number of times I've seen this activated in 10 years of Company of Heroes 2. Did get expanded in the later patches so that combat most infantry has it. Used to only be on conscripts. Maybe all infantry. Okay, big old Grenadier blob marching all the way to the Allied base. The T-70 getting in some trouble down there. Tank rotating as well. Conscripts have to give up. I think they're both healthy enough to survive the retreat, but if the command tank got a good shot on that three-man squad, maybe could have seen that go down. And here we go, T-3045 for Posman now. The Jackson now as well for brain damage coming across, misses its first shot. Damage definitely needs to spin through some of this float though. It's been 800 or so for like 7 minutes. Since the Scott has arrived, hasn't spent any manpower until this Jackson. And there goes the pack. T-3045 having an immediate impact and can actually be a good one for Posman to pick up since he doesn't have as this yet. Tried to go for a rifle nade, but you could see it got interrupted by the T-34 shot. Kind of cancelled it from activating. Jackson chasing down the Boombear. Pack right there, but it doesn't have any defences. It's on me to boost up the paratrooper. Steal though for Posman. I'm a little bit surprised he didn't merge into it. Not send it all the way back to base. I suppose the moles that are crewing the gun are quite low in health.
AT-gun here.
As well, could do with some healing. T-70 still alive as well. It's a good vision tool. Speaking of vision tools, recon plane up. I think everybody expected we'd see Jaeger armor from Diamond with the 222 rebuild. The Bombeer probably into Elephant intended. Okay. Yes, mines, I guess, triggering over on the far side. Oh, and conscripts in some trouble. Surviving though, that was a close call. The AT gun nearby here for Diamond. Looks like he rebuilt the lost one as well. Back up to 2. Bombeer completed its repairs now. Needs to get back in the fight. Got a bit of a move coming down the far flank from MrSipan. Double tanks. He's having to rotate with the Jackson. The Scott. He's going to try and go for a Faust, but decides here. Don't want to lose my squad. Speaking of lost squads, Greedy down over here. Not entirely sure how that happened. Jackson missing again.
Send your orders.
T-34 getting herded away by the double anti-tank guns. Double AT guns nearby from MrSipan as well. And wow, both of those missing. Those attack rounds again? Like, what is going on with Diamond's AT guns today? It's having a nightmare. Good shots there. P4 backing away. High's dead in the center. Looks like maybe the T-70. Heavy mortar barraging the AT guns. They dodge off to the side. Could maybe use a greedy med kit on this one. Heal it back up so it can stay on the front lines. Recon plane up again. Osman did decide to go for a quad and shoots that down real fast. Maybe brain damage could have gone for it. Quad though, he's got so many resources. Well, not a quad, a half track. Oof. Faust arrived just a little bit too early. No engine crit on the Jackson. And try stay in the fight. A couple more shots on the command tank, but having his vision blocked at the moment. Scott's doing alright though. Uh-oh. Not the best pathing there with the Jackson, but the Panzer IV didn't actually manage to get a shot through.
5mm gun carrier ready.
So it's alright. Really hate to see this much float though. He's managed to get a second Scott out. Pretty close to the pop cap limit now. Could be investing that into caches, at this stage, muni caches. So he could pop off these planes more often, but he's still very far away in terms of command points. You can see he's by far the lowest. Postman 5 command points higher. Oof. Accidental early cancel on the Werfer. I'm a little bit surprised to see the Werfer though instead of saving for the Elephant. Osman doesn't have that many team weapons. Neither does brain damage. Oftentimes you see the US player with double AT guns at this stage, but he has the one.
Enemy forces are securing our territory.
Complain again, but it's just a waste of munitions at this stage with the quad on the field. Just gets shot down too fast. Only really useful if you're trying to get like just a fraction of vision so you can decide where you want to barrage with your Werfer or something. Even then it's a lot of munitions to be spending on it. Sipan rotating across. And I'm still way down on VPs, 206, 205. And the squad hasn't run into the capture circle here, not entirely sure why. There we go now. A full rotation from MrSipan over to the other side. The T-3485 is here, and so is the stolen pack. Got the T-70 in recon mode, and that's a snare. Got too close to the conscripts. He pops off the smoke, but the 85 is there. Just needs one more shot to penetrate. Double AT guns though. A little bit of vision. But again, only one shot connecting. The T-gun gets extremely low. I guess that was to the bunker buster. Nearly got decrewed. That was a close call. Four AT guns all pushing up here. T-70 has to be really careful to die in one volley. Looks like Diamond's going to be the one pulling back. MrSipan's pushing in with his double packs. This could be the end of the Panzer, or perhaps the T-34. Cold feet, didn't want to chase any further. Jackson's there.
We are losing a sector.
If this was a range team, probably would have seen Diamond continue to push, but backed off with his packs quite early. Jackson's there though, takes a big one too. Scott's doing alright. Second one though hasn't got a single kill so far. They go now, barraging on the double AT guns. Pretty good connection, one of them in some major trouble. Survives though. Capping on the far edge with this Grenadier. Looks like the stall for the Elephant is on. Still way off yet though. And again, just waste of munis at this stage. That's a worthy though. A Howie down from MrSipan also. As I was saying, the Allies are quite light on team weapons compared to usual, so don't know how successful this indirect fire is really going to be. It's down a fighting position, upgrading it with the 50 now. Trying to get off to the side of that. Sipan has a lot of munis. He could start Panzerfausting this, I believe. Blast it down. Got 450, might as well, right? The Panzer IV for it. Doesn't last long. Allies back on the drain though. They do have to be careful of that. They definitely have stabilized in terms of army. In fact, they've even got the superior army at this stage, but they are not very good at defending the VPs at the moment. And Howie's coming down in the center here. Big hit on the T-70 actually. Jackson coming across. Double AT guns for MrSipan spinning around, but the Jackson backs away before a second volley comes through. Brombeer out to the side though, forcing a bunch of retreats. The Katyusha, it's been on the field for a long time for Potter's mum. Has it fired a single barrage yet? I'm not sure. If it has, it hasn't got any kills. Done any damage even, doesn't have a lick of veterancy. Playing up a little bit further off to this side this time, but didn't last long either. Definitely the quad has been running good in terms of how fast it's been shooting down those planes. Scott's doing well against the Grenadiers. Sipan also going for a Panzerwerfer now, so I feel like Axis are quite heavily invested into indirect fire. For trying to back away here, doesn't have blitz. Pops the take aim. Didn't pop the AP rounds though. Didn't drop down the planes either. Definitely should have. Maybe could have killed that. Maybe mortar dead. Bunch of stuff did in the center. Grenadiers, rear echelon. The 152 artillery out the back here doesn't look like it hit too much. And there goes the T-70. Looks like We finish that off with the Panzerfaust. We've got the Elephant rolling onto the field now for Diamond, so the Allies do have to be careful of that. Yeah, brain damage. Not sure why he didn't use the rockets to finish off that Panzer IV. He's just got so many resources. He's trying to build another Jackson now. Not quite have room to fully reinforce everything if he goes for that.
The capture point is being overrun. The capture point is being overrun.
Still in trouble on the victory points. Losing control on the all points really. And there we go, the big bunker buster knocks out the 50, and now the AT gun about to suffer the same fate. With the 152 artillery coming down. And not doing anything as usual. Posted out to the side though. Opens up the capture for the conscripts. Elephant rolling up now. Well, the Werfer got dangerously close there. We've got MrSipan's howitzer also falling in this area. Comes the Katyusha. Cap's already decrewed though. T-34 trying to finish off the weapon. The Elephant maybe not having vision. Doesn't matter, still connects on the T-34 that's trying to back away, get behind the buildings, hide from this Elephant. And it does survive. Katyusha, meanwhile, looks like it took a Howie shell, nearly died. Has to be an absolute direct hit, and MrSipan losing a PIO to the double Scots, it looks like. Nice to drain off a few more points. Pathfinders see the machine gun, have to hide that. Get revealed by the recon plane, actually. I believe.
A capture point is under attack.
Oh, AT gun getting slaughtered. Quick kill by the double LMG greens. Bombardier really starting to find its rhythm now, getting some big hits going. The quad. Oh, the quad died. I didn't even notice. Back here. Did that die to the howitzer? I apologize. Completely missed it. So the recon plane's good again. Brain damage though definitely needs to get something going with these planes. You know, at this stage, he's got so much munitions by the time the cooldown's done. You could just about have the planes going constantly for the next like 15 minutes, I would guess. Got the double Jacksons now though. That could be trouble for MrSipan, especially if his AT guns are out of position. The mortar gets the decrew, gets a bit of collateral damage on the Pathfinders and Captain as well. Double T-34-85s now for Plasmom, and we got another Howie out the back by MrSipan. And for a bit of a base barrage this time. Scott's working well there. T-34-85 getting onto the rear of the Brumbier. This could be the green light to get some major damage done. They're diving in. Where the planes though? Need these planes to make this work. Brumbier hanging on by a thread. He's dropped down the planes, but oh no, Brumbier gets abandoned. We've got triple AT guns back here. The Katyusha's coming in, but slightly off target. Getting a little bit of damage done. Elephant now getting circled. Goes in for a ram, trying to connect. Oh, here come the double Jacksons though. It's all tumbling down for the Axis. There goes the Elephant. Werfer does die. In fact, there's a second Werfer back here. Oh, but the 85 misses the kill shot. Oh, the P4 takes another pass from the anti-tank planes. All the AT guns did get polished off though. Not entirely sure how. I guess from the Scots. Oh man, he drove back through the danger zone. Could lose the Panzer IV as well. Nope. As the Jackson rolls back in. Vision provided by the planes. And the Panzer IV dies. What a collapse there from the Axis. And they throw in the towel. Well, it was a good move from Partners Mum starting that off. Found the rear armor of the Brumbier. And really went to work. Axis anti-tank guns quite close to each other. Getting slaughtered in the end. I think, yeah, MrSipan really need a bunch more mines down, man. He had 500 munis. Telemines could be all down here. Completely shut down the Jackson's participation in this fight. If he had done that, we don't have any re-echelon sweepers. So it's really lacking from MrSipan. But the Howie did better than I expected. Only one kill, but just about knocked out that Katyusha. But yeah, it was a big play, and sometimes, you know, when everything goes right, you can just completely turn the tables and win the game just like that. Especially when you got those planes to make it all work. But yeah, GG, you know, a bit of a rough start from the Allies, but they came good in the end. Overall, yeah, I wasn't too impressed by the anti-tank gun positioning of both the Axis throughout the match. Felt it a bit weak. Felt like they weren't in the right spot at the right time quite often this match. Could do some work. Yeah, I'm not sure about the command tank against the Scots. Personally, I think I'd prefer to have the opportunity to kill the Scot, you know, during that kind of 15 to 20 minute mark window before the Jackson arrives. Instead of trying to play the long game and try to reduce the bleed to the Scots. But I don't know, it's just my feelings on it. Well, anyway, guys, wrap on that. If you like your game to be cast by me, details in the video description below. Otherwise, I'll catch you all for the next thrilling installment. Goodbye and good luck.